Hello, fellow crypto builders. It's Chris Casano here from Lit Protocol, and I'm here to show you how to make an app with Vincent in just a few minutes. Just some background, Vincent is powered by Lit Protocol. Lit Protocol is a decentralized key management system that you can use for private data and automated signing. It's powered by threshold cryptography, so no one party ever has your private data or your wallet. And then we built Vincent on top of that. Vincent is a open source delegation framework that basically makes it so that you can create apps that AI agents can run, and users can delegate their wallets to these apps. The apps can do automations, and the apps are restricted to only be able to do what the user has approved. Um, there's abilities and policies which you know really constrain what can be done with the application. So um, to get started, we are going to click on this quick start here, and we're going to jump over to the Vincent Starter app. The Vincent Starter app is a GitHub repo that has a pretty basic example that does dollar cost averaging into wrapped Bitcoin. And so the first thing we're going to do is fork this. Um, and the app we're going to make today is called Warren Buffett. And the idea here is Warren Buffett does value investing, right? Where he looks for companies on the stock market that have high revenue, but maybe a low valuation, or they have high growth. He buys and holds them for long periods of time. Um, and so the idea here is to do the same thing with crypto. And I have a little script that I had Claude write that uses the DeFi Llama API to try to find undervalued tokens in the Warren Buffett style. Um, and so we're going to fork this repo that does dollar cost averaging, the Vincent Starter app, and we're going to modify it to uh, invest in some of the undervalued tokens that we have from the DeFi Llama API script. Um, and then we're going to deploy it. So we're going to make the fork here, and cool. So the first thing to do is we need to clone this so that we can start editing it. I'm going to open it up in Cursor, and what I'm going to do is I have so I'm going to go find the file here that's actually that actually does the dollar cost averaging. It's called execute DCA swap. Um, and I have a little prompt that I wrote for Claude, or actually, I'm going to use Cursor for this, not Claude. And the prompt basically says, this dollar cost averages into Bitcoin, wrapped Bitcoin. Instead, I want to always DCA into a random undervalued token from this array. These tokens are Renzo, Pendle, and Beefy. And I'm going to do this on base because gas is very cheap there. Um, at the end of this tutorial, we will have a fully deployed app with a URL that you can give to anyone. When they click on that URL, they will be able to see a screen very similar to a OAuth login screen. You might have seen like sign in with Google before, and you click that, it gives you a list of permissions like, oh, do you want to let this app access your calendar, whatever. Um, and this is it's very similar, but it's for crypto wallets. So you'll get a URL you can share with your friends, anybody, um, and they can connect to it. They can permit very specific abilities. They can apply policies if they want, like a max spending limit per day. Um, and then it's impossible for the app developer, for me, as this app we're developing right now, to violate any of those constraints or do anything else with the wallet besides the various approved abilities and policies. And so Claude is, or sorry, not Claude, Cursor is going through and um, changing up the tokens that we are going to buy, and it's going to put in this list of undervalued tokens instead of the base rack Bitcoin address, so that we're going to dollar cost average into those. So let's review Claude's changes here. You can see we're picking a random undervalued token using math not random from our array. We're finding the token name and symbol so that we can log that when we create an entry. This will, I'm going to have it run on a daily basis, but it's a user setting. So the user, when they put uh, assets into this wallet, can set it to be daily, weekly, monthly. But for this example, we're gonna do daily. I think this all looks good, so I'm going to click keep here, and then I'm going to commit this um, DCA into undervalued tokens. Um, and then we're going to go ahead and push this repo. Um, these are aliases that I have. This is just git add commit, and this is just a git push alias. So if you know how to use git, it should be no problem. The next thing we're going to do is go to our repo here, um, and we are going to deploy it on Railway. This is a one-click deploy process that should make very easy to deploy Vincent apps. There are some prerequisites to deploy it. There's a couple things I need. An RPC URL for base. We can talk to base. I'll need an app ID on Vincent, and then a delegatee private key. And the delegatee private key is a Ethereum wallet. You will load the private key into the backend. It's like basically a hot wallet, and it's able to use the abilities on behalf of your app that the user has approved. And so what's nice is that if this delegatee private key, for example, leaked from this server, uh, the hacker that stole it wouldn't be able to steal any of my users' funds, right? They would only be able to do the things that I'm going to approve, which is use Uniswap. And let's go ahead and make the Vincent app. So to do that, I'm going to go here and click build. I'm going to log in with a passkey. Let's make a new one, the Warren Buffett developer. Um, and we'll save this in our little vault, sign in with it. Warren Buffett developer. And cool, now we're in the Vincent developer dashboard. So I'm going to create an app here. Warren Buffett is the name. I'll put in my email. This app dollar cost averages into undervalued tokens. And then we're going to put in a dummy URL here. This is because we don't know what the URL, the actual URL is going to be until after we have deployed our app on Railway. And then, like I said, we need a delegatee address. So I'm going to use cast wallet new to get an address here, copy and paste this into a little off-screen notepad that I have. And now we can load the address here in um, and create the app. And now at this point, we're going to set up what abilities this app is allowed to use. So I'm going to use an ERC20 approval ability so we can approve the Uniswap contract. And I'm going to add the Uniswap swap ability so that we can actually do the swaps. We're going to publish this app. Um, the Vincent dashboard lets you create different app versions, and you have to publish them when you're ready. This, ensures that you can't rug the users because they approve a specific version, and if you were to publish a new one that say added new abilities, the user has to consent to the upgrade to that version. So we're going to publish the app version. App version published successfully. We'll go ahead and check our app details here. The app is registered on chain. We have active version 1. Um, and so I'm going to copy the app ID. I'm going to go back to Railway, paste that in here. We also need the base RPC URL, which I can grab from my little off-screen notepad. And then we're going to paste in the delegatee private key for the wallet that I just created. Got that. Okay, save config, deploy. And now Railway is deploying our project for us. Um, it's going to deploy 3 services. You're going to get a backend, a front end, and a MongoDB database to use for tracking the DCA jobs, tracking like the status of those, what users have added, etc. Um, because users can add various schedules, daily, weekly, monthly, and you can see it's making the MongoDB database right now that's hooked up to our backend. We have a front end. The front end uses Vite, uh, and the back end is just a regular Express.js backend. Um, and yeah, with the one-click deploy, it should be pretty easy to set up. Now, there's one more step we need to do here. We forked this repo, right? We forked Vincent's starter app to create Warren Buffett. But if you take a look here in Railway, this is actually still connected to Vincent's starter app. So we're going to want to connect this to Warren Buffett, um, which hopefully should come up. There it is. And then we're going to connect the front end as well. So you got to click front end, do it on the front end. There it is, Warren Buffett. And now we can apply these 2 changes and redeploy everything. Even though we didn't finish our first deploy, that's okay. We're going to do another deploy. Oh, the first deploy did finish, but we're doing this new one. You can see it has our latest commit, DCA into undervalued tokens, right? That's the advantage of our fork here. And it should deploy relatively fast. Railway is a pretty nice way to deploy a whole bunch of services at once. And it's really cool to be able to create automations that you can share with people, like wallet automations that you can share with people, and so easily, modify the logic and just do this very simple one-click deploy. So our front end is built. The back end, our new deploy here with DCing into undervalued tokens is building still. Um, and what we're going to do is load up the front end here. And the back end isn't deployed yet, but that's okay because there's one more thing we sort of have to fix. I'm going to click on this link, which will take us to the front end. You can see I didn't change any of the copy about wrapped Bitcoin from what I forked, but that would probably be the next step is to change that copy so that the whole app talks about being Warren Buffett and investing in undervalued tokens. So I'm going to click this connect with Vincent button. This is going to show me an error. right? Because if you recall, we set our redirect URIs to localhost because we didn't know the deployed URL yet because we get a random one from Railway. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go back to my Vincent dashboard here as the developer. I'm going to click edit, and I'm going to go ahead and put this URL in as the app user URL. So this is like what the user will click on when they click open app from Vincent, and the redirect URI, which is where they will get redirected after they've permitted the app. So we updated our app successfully. Let's see if our backend is deployed. It is. Awesome. So let's click try again, and we should see this wonderful screen that looks very similar to an OAuth Connect screen. You can see we have two abilities here, ERC20 approval and Uniswap swap. Um, and a little description. I could have uploaded a logo if I wanted. So I'm going to grant permissions, and it's going to connect me and permit this app to use any of the assets that I send it. Okay, so now we are logged in as a user into the DCA, the dollar cost averaging app. The first thing I have to do is get myself some assets in here. Um, when I did the deploy, there was an option to put in Alchemy gas sponsorship API key. I did not do that, and so I do need to send gas. I got to make sure I'm on base mainnet here because this uses base. And one of the things that's really nice about Vincent is that even if the app disappears, right? Like, let's say this front end totally disappears, it doesn't actually matter to the user in terms of getting their funds out. You can always get your funds out with Wallet Connect by clicking that Withdraw with Wallet Connect button down there. Um, and that means that, as the user, you're really in control, right? You control what the app can do with your funds. You can get the funds out, even if the developer, disappears from the face of the earth, etc. So I need to also send myself some USDC. So we have some thing to dollar cost average with. So we're going to go USDC. We'll put in, let's say, $10. Um, okay. Cool. We have the ETH and the USDC sent. Refresh my wallet balance here. And look, you can see my uh, Vincent wallet um, has some funds in it. Wallets are per application. So different applications can't mess with other applications' assets. And so now I'm going to say, let's DCA, I don't know, 250 a day. And I'm going to create DCA. And then this should um, fully work. And so if we go to our wallet here um, and refresh base scan, we should ideally see the swap come in. Hey, it worked. Uh, and so if we look, it picked Pendle as an undervalued token. Makes a ton of sense. Pendle is super cool. And it bought 250 of it. You can see my USDC balance dropped by 250. And that's basically it. So what I can do, is share this link with anyone, right? Um, and they will get that OAuth Connect screen, auth style Connect screen that would let them start using this app. So you can create trading strategies and share them with your friends, like delegated trading strategies. Um, there's just like so much possibility that you can do. You could let an AI agent go crazy with money and set a spending limit policy so that it can only spend, $25 a day, but let it build up like use an LLM to build up its own investment thesis and create your own like hedge fund. So anyway, thanks for checking this video out and for checking out Vincent. And if you have any questions, check out the Vincent docs. They're docs.heyvincent.ai. Um, there's a link here to join our um, Telegram. Check us out on X. Um, and this is just scratching the surface of what you can build with Vincent. Lit protocol itself is what Vincent is built on top of. It's also incredibly powerful and a little bit more of a primitive that you can use, like a crypto primitive. So thanks for watching.